Hi everyone and welcome back. Let's talk more about Svelte store, and this time let's see what happens in the background. Like we can write our own, we can do it using subscription, and then we can use lifecycle methods to unsubscribe the store. So we are going to write a simple store which is nothing but export const store, or let's say const store, and then we will export it, and it exposes all the methods. And we can just do is export default store. Instead of named export, we are doing the default export, and then inside apps.js we are going to play with some code. That's it. So here we don't want to use a dollar. I mean, this is the best way of doing it, because in this case we don't need to worry about subscription and unsubscription. But let's see how we do it without even doing that. So we need to get the store from store.js, and we have only this component, and here inside this we will, because this is just a simple counter, we have simple store which has the value 0, numeric value, and we can just play with the increasing and decreasing it. And here we can also use the lifecycle hooks which provides by the Svelte component on destroy. And there is another method is on mount, that is coming from Svelte. Okay, so let's say we have a counter value is 0, and let unsubscribe. These two variables we have, and here we have these lifecycle methods on mount. This takes callback as an input, and here we will write a code what we are going to do on the on mount. So on the on mount, I'm going to assign the value to a variable. So I can just do unsubscribe, and this here we are going to get the value store.subscribe. Store.subscribe, I have a state, and that state I'm going to assign to the counter. So I have a counter as a local variable. That's it. So here I got the on mount, and there is another method I have on destroy that also takes the callback, and inside the on destroy we can just check if I have unsubscribed, then I can just call the unsubscribe method. This is how you unsubscribe on the component removal. And then here we will have all these methods from this template, like increase, decrease, so we can play with the template values. So here let's say first print the value. So I have access to the counter, and then here we can add the different buttons. So I have two buttons, one is for increase and another is for decrease, and I can add on click action on both. This is increasing the value, and this is decreasing the value. So I'm going to call another method for this, which is dec decrease, and we'll define all the methods here. Function, and another function is this, and we are good. Okay, what we are doing in these functions, we are going to update the store values, right? So, and there is another method is also reset, we can add. So inside reset we can simply call store.set0. Store is nothing but a counter store object. If it is a decrement, then I can simply do store.update, So it's a decrease, so I will just do I minus 1. Similarly, store dot update, I equal to I plus 1, right? Simple method. And this is how it is working. I mean, I just wanted to show you, like you, when you want to subscribe, unsubscribe, then you can use these lifecycle hooks to get the subscription object, subscription variable, and then unsubscribe using on destroy lifecycle method. And here we can write these different events, and this is the counter is the variable which is getting the updated value because we have already subscribed it. So subscription will always trigger whenever there is a change in the value when you are doing update using increment and decrement method. Okay, and then you can also have a reset method. So on click reset, that's it. So reset should set it to 0. Yeah, simple example. It doesn't mean that you can't isolate these things. What you can do is, this is a simple store. Store has nothing but just a simple value. Now you can write n number of components to access this value and update this value. Okay, you can create these. So here we have these button components, right? These can be in separate components. You can say reset Svelte, increment Svelte, and decrement Svelte, and there you can write this code, that how we are updating it. So there you can call these simple things. Let's say I'm going to create another method, another file. Svelte, and I'm going to show you simple code. Here we are getting the count. So I will just import store from store.js, and here we can just simply call store.update decrement, right? So it's like another component. So similarly, you can create increment component, reset component, and then import all these components here and bind the buttons. Similarly, we are just doing it through the simple buttons, and then these are calling different events. The whole objective is store is centralized. Now you can create 10 different components or n number of components. Every component can access the store simply like this. You get the store, you can do a store.update, store.set, you can do store.subscribe, store.unsubscribe. All these methods you can trigger at the component level. Okay, if you don't want it to subscribe or unsubscribe, let's say I just wanted to print the value whatever it is having. So it's a numeric value it is holding, right? So I can simply do is just print the value. That's it. It will give me the value. I don't need to worry about subscribing and getting the value and assigning it and subscribing it on the lifecycle destroy. We don't need to worry about it. Okay, so this is all about the basic introduction. Now we are going to use it, this concept of Svelte store, this readable, writable, and derived. Readable stores we haven't discussed, that we will see in the demo application, but how we manage the state, because this store in the real world example, this will be a JavaScript object. Let's say I'm creating a writable store for the products, for the cart items, right? And cart items is a big JSON object. When you add a new item, you update this store, writable store, and then whoever is subscribing that writable store will show, okay, you have added this cart item and this is the new total you have to pay. There we can use a derived state against the cart items. Okay, so these are just concepts. I will put more examples to talk about this particular store. Let's say in the next example we are going to talk about one end-to-end example where we are going to cover as many concepts of Svelte JS as possible.